Hi there, this is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, and welcome to another episode of I Am 4K. I'm not really sure how long this is going to last, but as I've put in the title, the madness continues for a little bit longer, or me buying some 4Ks, now that I am 4K literate. And I must say, I should have bought a 4K player just to upscale the Blu-rays, because it is actually a real thing, I believe. So first up is Gattaca, that I picked up for cheap, or guanine, adenine, thymidine, adenine, cytidine, adenine, if you're talking DNA. I've always had a soft spot for this film. Wonderful performances, especially by Alan Arkin. And was this the film where Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman met and were later married? It looks really good on 4K. Granted, they never really explain what's so great about going into space when they're privileged people anyway, but that's a minor detail. Next, I picked up David Lynch's Dune on 4K. Yes, this is one of my least favourite David Lynch films, but David Lynch is one of those filmmakers that I will be trying to get all of his films on 4K. Why Blue Velvet doesn't have a 4K yet does seem a bit bizarre when they do Lost Highway, which is still very good, but I wouldn't say it's amongst his best. Maybe by law they can't do Blue Velvet and Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me in 4K because it would be too real. It'd be too scary and disturbing. This looks really wonderful. Yes, it's sad that they scrapped the kind of newish retrospective documentary that they talked about at the announcement. But there's a lot of good bonus stuff in it. And again, the film itself looks really good. Still one of the greatest casts ever assembled. And then next, I couldn't help myself. I got it a lot cheaper than RRP, and that's the Universal Classic Monsters Volume 1. Not sure I'll get Volume 2. I do have them on Blu-ray Steelbook, and I thought, how much better did they really look? Because the Blu-rays are astounding for films this old, but the 4Ks do look better. I wouldn't say they had the same effect on me that the Blu-rays had of just, my goodness, this looks amazing. But they still look, it is still an upgrade over the Blu-ray, so if you never got the Blu-ray, the 4Ks are worth picking up. Obviously this is Dracula, Frankenstein, The Invisible Man, and The Wolfman. Yes, I am weird. The Invisible Man's still probably my favourite. But this is a wonderful, nice, thin set. I thought it would be a bigger box, but it's actually quite good because it's actually nice and thin. So that's Universal Classic Monsters, and you do get the Spanish Dracula, which you could argue is actually better than the Bela Lugosi Dracula. And then Almost Famous, Cameron Crowe's finest film in my opinion, and one of the, arguably the best film about what it's like actually being a music fan, and what music actually means to us. Again, don't trust anybody who doesn't love music and thinks music's just a background thing and not that important. Stay away from those people, I implore you. Which looks really good, by the way. Next, again, another one I got cheaply, Pan's Labyrinth. Yes, I have mentioned it's not amongst my favourite Del Toro but still fairly up there. Obviously, I prefer Devil's Backbone. I do believe there's a 4K Devil's Backbone somewhere, and I will have to try and track it down because I do absolutely adore Devil's Backbone. But I mean, Pan's Labyrinth is still excellent, and it looks really beautiful in 4K. It is a wonderful film, as most of his, well, all of his Spanish language ones are. People may mock, but I'll be proven right at some point. Last Action Hero, which does look fantastic. Yes, if Charles Dance wasn't in this, would I like it as much? Probably not. Yes, the third act, especially at the premiere, does go all in on how amazing Schwarzenegger is. And friends of Schwarzenegger just turn up to say how amazing he is. But Charles Dance is worth the golden ticket all by himself. Parts of it might actually be Schwarzenegger's finest work. And the trailer for Schwarzenegger and Hamlet, which they should have really made a film of, the kind of look of that trailer must have been an inspiration for Sin City, as far as the black and white and the colour. But this is a lot of fun. Yes, the kid's annoying. Yes, the third act isn't very good. But man, Charles Dance is fantastic. Next is one of the films I kind of had to get. That would be Heat. Now, people have complained about this being really dark, but I didn't really think it was that bad. I wouldn't say it's an amazing looking 4K, because the film itself on Blu-ray still looks fantastic anyway, because it's Michael Mann and he cares about that kind of thing. But it's just quite wonderful, and again, the thing that 4K does as well is improves the sound, and the sound is excellent on this disc as well. Next is Groundhog Day. Now, for me, the Blu-ray, certainly the VHS and DVD, had the colour was kind of a little bit too kind of bright and shiny. The 4K kind of sharpens that up a bit. Again, it's maybe just my eyes, but the Blu-ray and the DVD and the VHS still had that kind of colour, kind of skin on it, whereas the 4K does kind of sharpen it up, so it looks really nice on 4K. And then a couple of John Carpenter's. Obviously I already have They Live and The Thing. So Escape from New York. I mean, I'm not going to get Escape from LA on 4K. I mean, that would be ridiculous. But if they ever release Assault on Precinct 13, that's a different story. Escape in New York. I mean, John Carpenter films were made for 4K. Just his use of widescreen and his shot composition. So Escape from New York looks wonderful, and Prince of Darkness, which I do think is underrated. It's not perfect by a long shot, but I do like the fact, with the exception of Donald Pleasence, he didn't use stars, so you don't necessarily know who's going to die in what particular order. And a moving performance by Alice Cooper. Obviously it's a lot of fun, and again, this looks quite wonderful. I mean, I'll probably pick up The Fog at some point, and again, if they do Assault on Precinct 13, I mean, that's a no-brainer. And then for me, the cream of the crop for this one is a film that I absolutely adore. I do have it on Indicator Blu-ray, which I won't be getting rid of, and that is Devil in a Blue Dress on 4K. This is the Criterion, which has the 4K and the Blu-ray and the booklet. I've loved this film since it came out, and obviously I love the two 90s films by Carl Franklin, One False Move and Devil in a Blue Dress. Again, it's a mystery to me what happened to Carl Franklin, who made a couple more films and did a lot of TV, but he should have had a much better cinematic career. There should have been more Easy Rawlins films directed by Carl Franklin and starring Denzel Washington, because there's more books. This is Denzel Washington's best performance as far as I'm concerned, and it's another wonderful film just about friendship, with Albert Hall, who is only in a couple of scenes, but they're powerful, especially the one at the end, and also Don Cheadle as Mouse, who's a complete nutter, but he's also quite charming and quite handy to have around, even though he's completely psychotic. It's just a wonderful film. It's got an interesting story. You actually have to pay attention to what's going on. It's about race in America. It's about just finding somewhere to belong to, somewhere of your own, and again, spending time with your friends while people get shot, stabbed and murdered. So that's Devil in a Blue Dress, one of the best American films of the 90s, strangely enough, along with One False Move, directed by Carl Franklin. And the 4K looks really good, but then it looked really good in Blu-ray as well. But I would highly recommend Devil in a Blue Dress in 4K, but I would just highly recommend the film in general, on whatever format you can see it in. So that's just the latest batch of my madness. Again, these videos will stop, because at some point the madness has to stop. I'm hopefully getting an injection at some point in the near future to make it stop. So thanks very much for watching. Again, what's your favourite 4K? What 4Ks should I pick up? And which ones should I avoid? So thanks very much for watching. This is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, saying farewell.